Dust and chips. They're a real problem when you have an automated machine spitting them out in a steady, relentless stream. The obvious thing to do is use some kind of vacuum device to clean them up. But unless you just stand there with a handheld shop vacuum, the actual implementation of a vacuum dust collector isn't terribly easy. My solution is based on a number of designs that I have seen, but it includes a quick and easy attachment method that allows me to quickly remove the collector shroud and attached vacuum hose so that I can adjust the height of the cutter or change cutting bits without having anything in the way. I drew up a simple racetrack shape in Corel Draw for the body of the collector shroud. I drew another circular shape with the inner diameter set just slightly smaller than the outer body diameter of my Hitachi router. A single saw slit done on a bandsaw provides just enough flexing so that the ring will slide over the body of the router and grip it firmly. Then I cut out two thin bands from a material called MDO, or medium density overlay. This material had a maple veneer applied to each side, which helps to hold it together. I glued one of the outer bands to the flat racetrack-shaped top piece, and then drilled 3/8 inch diameter holes through the top piece and into the mating circular mounting ring, using Forstner bits. Using 5-minute epoxy glue, I glued circular magnets into both the top piece and the mating mounting ring. I separated the magnets with a layer of kitchen waxed paper, so that the epoxy didn't glue the two sections of the shroud together, but the magnets were still held tightly together by their magnetic attraction. I modified one of the narrow vacuum attachments that came with the shop vac for the collector by cutting off a bit of the narrow end and cutting a small wooden block to fill the end that would normally be used to vacuum up dust. Then I cut a rectangular hole in the side of the vacuum attachment to line up with a mating hole in the top of the shroud. I used some goop, which is a polyurethane glue, sold under trade names like goop or shoe goo, to attach the vacuum attachment to the shroud. When the glue dried, I used 4 sheet metal screws for additional strength to hold the two parts together. Then, using a small steel strap that came from the hardware store, I folded it up into a horseshoe shape and rigged up a pin that was actually a section of a knitting needle. All this does is a mechanical support the weight of the vacuum hose when it's hanging off the end of the router. Obviously, you'll have to modify this a bit to suit your particular machine, your particular router, and so forth. But the idea is just to have a simple mechanical device that's easily removable just to support that extra weight. The magnets work well to line everything up and hold everything together around the base of the router. I used Bin brand shellac primer to prime the assembled parts. When that was dry, I used a spray can Rust-Oleum appliance enamel for the final finish. When the paint was dry, I cut a strip of flexible vinyl plastic for the flexible shroud and attached it with a combination of goop glue, a copper metal strip, and sheet metal screws. The lower shroud frame was attached using more goop and sheet metal screws. When the glue dried, I used a sharp X-Acto knife to cut slits in the vinyl, spaced about 1 inch apart, to allow the shroud to be more flexible. Since the circular mounting ring is adjustable on the body of the router, it can be slid up and down to allow as much or as little clearance as necessary at the bottom, depending on the depth of your cut. For the actual vacuum source, you can use a regular shop vacuum. The only problem with that solution is that the paper filters become clogged pretty quickly. I bought this Clearview Cyclone at clearviewcyclones.com. It uses one particular model of rigid brand vacuum with a removable motor unit that attaches in a new position on the side of the Clearview Cyclone. The end result is a powerful, clean dust collection solution that requires very little maintenance. If you want to get really fancy, there are automatic switch units available that will turn the shop vacuum on and off when you turn on your router. But so far, I haven't found that to be a problem, to just flip an extra switch. We hope you'll find this video helpful. If you'd like to learn more about CNC and the CNC hobby, check out our 2-hour instructional video, The ABCs of CNC, on this website. Thanks.